Hey everyone, welcome to the Enough Said podcast. We are thrilled to have everybody back and healthy here in this podcast. So we are ready to rock and roll. We are in season 3. Are we week 4 here, guys? What are we? Is it 4?
This is 5.
This is
5,
five, man. We are rolling.
Wow. Week 5. All right. Well, as always, feel free to email us at enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. Let us know what you're thinking. We are always glad to hear from you, always glad to hear about your comments, and we appreciate everybody out there who's listening to us on a weekly basis. So thank you very much. We got a great show this week, so without further ado, let's give everybody the shout out here. We're going to start with our guest of the week. And, it's just tough because, being a Commanders fan is like having diarrhea. The accidents just keep on coming. But watching Wentz and Snyder is enough to give anyone the runs. Say hi to Tony. What's up, Tony?
Oh, my God.
How was that for an intro, Tony? Did that cover it all?
That should make me feel better.
Wow.
Better intro than Dan Snyder gives.
I did.
All right, this next guy, you know him as a regular. He comes on the show a lot of times just to vent. But if you really want to get him fired up, just say 100%. Say hi to Jermaine, everybody.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Real deal.
Just getting another week down. We good.
All right.
Good to be a Philly fan.
This next guy, he was stunned when Trey Lance went down, which nobody could foresee. But now he loves that they gave up their whole draft pick for Christian McCaffrey. Say hi to my man Mike, everybody.
Hey, what's up? Run CMC in the house, right? Run CMC.
What up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on?
All right. And last but not least, I've known him since kindergarten. This guy knows that the Vikings just signed OBJ, we think, to some big bucks. I still don't care what he says. Kirk Cousins still sucks. Say hi to Dre, everybody.
Yo, what up? What's up, man? Yes. Kirk Cousins.
We'll get to that. All right. So, that was our big discussion last week. But our big discussion this week, especially if we have Tony here. Tony, what the heck is going on in Washington, man? Talk to us here. First this guy comes out and says, it's the quarterback play. Then he backpedals. He's like, no, it's not the quarterback play. It's the whole team. I don't get it. What is going on down there in D.C.?
I don't think they know either, Sal, to be honest with you. I mean, no matter what decision that team seems to make, it's always the wrong one, isn't it? As a fan, I go out there, I'll root for my guys, Scary Terry and the rest of the players, but from above that, I have kind of lost some faith in the coaching staff, right? I mean, I was pro Wentz. I still think Carson Wentz gives us the best chance to win on a weekly basis. I don't think they've put him in any position to succeed. Bottom line. And now you got Taylor Heineke starting this weekend, which I'm sure some fans and players are hyped about. I'd rather see Sam Howell at this point, to be honest with you. Just put the rookie out there.
Mm-hmm.
What's your record?
It's not 6-0. It might as well be 0-6. Might as well be 0-6. I'd rather be 0-6 actually. That would probably put us in a good spot for Bryce Young.
Okay.
Wow.
Tony, before we were kind of pre-gaming here a little bit before we got on, and I know Tony said that it was tough. The Eagles game was tough to watch. What was the toughest part, Tony? What was it?
All of the above.
The toughest part was probably Fly Eagles Fly when I was coming in and out of the stadium. That was probably the roughest part, to be honest with you. I tried to leave early. We stayed for that whole game. We were there till the very end.
You're a trooper. You brave.
So we took over that game, Tony.
Oh, there was a lot of green in that
stadium. Okay, yeah.
Which makes me happy, right? Because you guys got to remember, I'm the biggest Commanders fan that you'll know. I'll support the team till the day I'm dead. I won't buy a Commanders jersey. So I have a burgundy T-shirt in gold letters that says "Sell the team," and that is the only thing I'll wear to the game. I kid you not. So I was wearing it. I mean, there was guys with signs. I'm all in on that movement. That's a movement I can get behind. But yes, there was plenty of green in that stadium. You guys have been right at home.
Jermaine, was that one of the games that was under control or not under control? Talk to me.
It was not in control on the Commanders side. I mean, geez. I mean, Tony, I got it. I got that new name for them. I know you heard it. I called them the Commodores. So
actually, I was thinking
probably dancing to do the two-step better than they, throw the ball downfield or get your boy Terry McLaurin involved, man. I mean, Jesus.
That last episode, man, I had Lionel Richie on. So,
let's just move on all night long, Jerry. Come on, man. You turn the camera off. It's like, boy, that had me die. That had us all die.
It's over your big ball head, man. I mean, you know that it was supposed to be Eagles running them all night long, man.
My God.
But real quick though, Tony,
what
you said earlier about Carson Wentz reminded me when I saw Ron Rivera really showed like this vision I had when T.O. said Tony Romo's my quarterback and crying. Riviera, Ron really told everybody like leave the kid alone. And I was seeing that, and then you talking about how you support Carson Wentz, and then when you brought up the point you just said about how the coaching staff, and you look at all the quarterbacks they had over Campbell, I can keep naming some other guys. They, of course, RG3. I mean,
Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins. I mean, I think, and like you said, Jermaine, about to make an analogy of it, where the Browns rotated so many coaches. Look at the Commanders, man. They just run through some quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do.
So it's not really the player. It's the coaching, I think.
And that's kind of the way. I mean, you can go back to some things I said earlier in the year, right? I was kind of apprehensive on Wentz, but you had to put a guy in a position to succeed. A lot comes down to play calling, right? Designing an offense around your quarterback, around the guys, and what they do best. Look at the Broncos as an example, right? You expect Russell Wilson to just take off. If you're Nathaniel Hackett, you're getting one of the premier and highly paid quarterbacks. From day one, you have to design an offense to make that guy succeed. In the same vein in Washington, you actually probably heard it last Thursday if you watched the Bears game. You had Ryan Fitzpatrick and the week before Alex Smith both condemn the offense here. It is a system offense that's not designed around the quarterback's strengths. That's a huge red flag to me. I mean, Scott Turner, what are you doing?
Well, what is the quarterback strength? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when he was in Philly, I mean, everything just deteriorated. I mean, you tried to place people around him and stuff. I mean, what is his strength? I haven't seen it. I thought he was going to go, okay, well, he goes to Indianapolis and, Mike Wright was his offensive coordinator when he was here in Philly. Now it's like, okay.
Mike Wright, yeah.
Yeah, Frank Wright. What did I say?
Mike Wright.
Right. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, Frank.
Commodores, it's all good.
Yeah, Frank Wright.
It's okay.
You thought that was his man and everything, and he fell apart there. So it goes all the way back to his knee injury in 2017. He hasn't been right since, and I don't see no kind of strength besides his elusiveness. I mean, getting out of the pot, but I don't even see that anymore. And then, when he popped Roquan Smith, what I mean?
That was maybe you
put that in, Tony.
That was the highlight of that game, right?
I know, right?
It's just pretty sad. I mean, Jermaine, if you had to ask me what can Carson Wentz do well, I'll go back to the deep balls when he has full pass protection, right?
Yeah,
that was the most entertaining thing. If you watched our Titans game, the deep balls to Diami Brown, the touchdown, a one-handed catch. I mean, that's what Wentz does well.
Right.
In the Eagles game in particular, some of the play calls that Turner was giving to Wentz, you have 7-step drops. We couldn't hold back against the Eagles D-line for our lives. Why are you doing a 7-step drop when you need to get the ball out even quicker than you are? You need short passes, start with the run game, open it up some play action. That should have been your game plan, and it worked initially. It just kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
I just think that, once again, it comes back to coaching, and I believe that on both sides of the ball. I just don't think, no matter who you have behind center or no matter what pass rushers you get back when Chase Young comes back, hopefully next week, I don't think that's going to make a difference. And at this point, I'm kind of writing off the rest of the season 6 games in.
Well, Tony, we joked a while back, you were on me because I'm like, yeah, coming to Washington is like coming to Siberia, but the truth of the matter is, isn't it culture too? Like, if you think about it, who would want to come and play for this owner and this team right now, right? So you got the players that don't want to be there. They don't want to play. Nobody wants to come in free agent wise. So, I mean, how do you I think the first thing you got to do is rebuild that culture on that team.
Which is what I think Ron Rivera was hired to do. And I'll say this, from a perspective of a leader of men, right, establishing somewhat of a culture, I think Ron was the right person at the right time. I just don't think it was set up for success long term. I don't even like the model of I'm a coach and I'm a CEO of the team, and even all of the football minds, my GMs, my scouts, all those people still report up to me. I like checks and balances in my organizational structure. I just don't think that was going to be successful long term. You're exactly right, Sal. Why would you want to come to Washington? Well, that's why they had to trade picks to make sure that they could get their man Carson Wentz, right?
That's the truth. That is.
I won't say it because the players don't want to play. I'm sure they'll love to play, and I'm sure they'd love to play for the paycheck too. But you're exactly right. If you have options, well, why would you choose Washington? And it's going to be like that. It's been like that pretty much for most of my life until the owner changes or until there's a systematic change within the organization.
Yep.
Yeah. Mike, I bet you Christian McCaffrey had no problem going to San Fran. So if you're Washington and you're this GM, how do you make people want to come to this team? How do you start this culture? Like Tony said, it's the coach seems to be in place, but do you force the owner out? How does this work?
That's a good question. That's the something I was going to ask Tony because he's so close to the team. I mean, Tony, the push to get Daniel Snyder, to sell the team has been happening for years, and it seems like it get closer and closer and closer. It just seems like it may actually happen. I guess the question, if it does happen, then what? Like, what do you expect out of a new owner that's going to actually change this into the winning team? Like, what does Daniel Snyder do or don't do that a new owner will do?
The grass always isn't greener on the other side. Mike, I promise you, this grass would be greener. I tell my wife this all the time. Best day of my life was my wedding. The second best day of my life is going to be when Dan Snyder sells the team. I promise you that. and really, I mean, that just it's Christmas morning for me, right? Fresh start. No matter who comes in, the bar is set so low. You could literally do anything, and that's probably better than what we've seen thus far under the last 20 years under Dan. I mean, to be honest, we get through the rest of the season. If Dan is still the owner, Ron is probably still here. Even if you look at all the coaches that were fired last year, I think 6 out of 8 still had more than 1 year left on their deal. So maybe a new owner could blow Ron out. Maybe Dan could even blow Ron out, although that's not his history. If you had a new owner, I would think they'd want to start fresh, bring in a true GM, bring in a true team president or executive vice president under Jason Wright, and build the organization from the ground up in their image. And I would be all on board for that. Trust me. Hard to see who would shell over the dough, right? Because what's the team worth? $5 billion, maybe.
Yeah, I do wonder that. Like you look at the Broncos and everyone, and they brought in to buy that team. And who would come in to buy Watson? I mean, just to picture who's going to be involved in that deal.
Jeff Bezos, the Washington Amazons, guys. I see it now.
Washington Amazon.
Oh my God, that is funny. Oh man.
Well, you know what, Tony? In all fairness, man, I mean, when y'all was back in the '80s and when y'all was the Hogs and y'all was doing, pulling those guards and those tackles and running all over the place. I mean, we feel your pain, man, because we've been there, and it was just 2017 we won the championship, but before that it was rough. I mean, ask Sal,
Mhm.
he wants to fire, you talk about sell the team, Sal needs to get a, fire Howie shirt, so you blaming it on him and everything. So, but nah, we certainly feel your pain, but it's just it's more like like what Sal was saying. It's the culture. I mean, where do you actually start? Like you said, is it a Jeff? Is it a Bezos guy? Washington Amazon guy. That Washington Amazon's new team and whatnot. I mean, it's just
Well,
like you said, they just got to knock it down and start from scratch. Bottom line.
That would be ideal, right, Jermaine? I mean,
Yeah.
you certainly can't. Kind of envious of Howie, right? He's done a retool in a short period of time, been able to build up both sides of the ball, have some younger players that are immediate contributors. I mean, I don't think off of last year Jalen Hurts was as stellar as he's played this year. I mean, he's really come into his own this year, which I gotta admit, I said myself,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I also wasn't expecting your defense to be as good as it is, certainly.
Well, yeah, like I said, they did right through the draft.
Right.
Philly did right through the draft. Any other time, it was just like, you was just putting a Band-Aid on positions and whatnot, and you think that it was, i.e. like the dream team, so you're putting a Band-Aid on it. But this is what I was trying to tell Sal, because, Sal was getting very frustrated with this whole situation. I said they did it right this time. They did it by the draft, and I think Howie gets it. Because you're setting yourself up. We got a good team now. Now you're setting yourself for next year. I mean, we're at number 4 with the Saints losing last night. We're at the number 4 pick. I mean, now you got a quarterback. Now you could just go anywhere. A linebacker, corner, or what? Corner to replace Slay. Slay is getting old. So I mean, yeah, you could just go anywhere. So yeah. I mean, Howie finally got it after what? How many years? Danny Watkins and missing out Jalen Rager, and it's just, it's just frustrating. Again, we Philly fans, we feel your pain. We feel it.
Yeah. Don't forget we had Rich Kotite for how many years too? I mean, that was brutal.
Well, Rich Kotite, Ray Rhodes. I mean, the list goes on. Then Dre's boy Chip.
Chip Kelly. I mean,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Those were the days. Those were beautiful days.
I couldn't stand Chip Kelly. I hated Chip Kelly.
It's funny that you mentioned Chip Kelly because, Sal, going back to your question about culture and stuff and, Niners and everything, the Niners were kind of like, Redskins West. They were going through a lot of turmoil too. They had an ownership, in the dad York. I can't think of his name right now, but, the son Jed took over to kind of basically own the team, run the team. And they went through, with the Shanahan hire and with John Lynch. And then that took time to turn that culture around. But, they went with Chip Kelly. They got rid of Harbaugh. They had to get rid of the GM, Trent Baalke. They had Tom Sulu, who was a coach, and he got hired like at the last minute. They had a couple of years of just total disarray. And they had to kind of rebuild from scratch, starting with the owner. They had to, granted it was in the family, but it was a different perspective. And someone who came in who knew his place to, let the guys who know the business do their thing, but still be involved. But he turned it over to John Lynch, and John Lynch and Shanahan said, "Guys, build me a championship." And they've been close. They've definitely done pretty well. So
yeah, let's emphasize a couple years. I mean, compared to what we was going through for like 10 to 12 years. You said a couple years, Mike. I'll take that anytime, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It took us a couple years, and you just sound like, but hey, be in our shoes, be in Washington's shoes. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about it, right? Like, when was the last time? I mean, the Eagles had one Super Bowl that they went to and they lost, and then they finally won in 2017. That was it, right?
Yeah.
So,
No,
I mean,
2005 and then 1980. I forgot what year it was, against the Raiders with John Madden.
Yeah.
With Dick Vermeil, we lost.
Dick
to-
Vermeil.
We
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
I mean, the last championship was the NFL championship. It wasn't even the Super Bowl.
We weren't the greatest show on turf. That was the problem. Just like-
Well, we were the heck of a before Super Bowl came out. We were the winning team.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you, that Super Bowl, that pass to Gronkowski in the end zone was scary at the end.
It was scary, but
We just barely won that.
Dre gets mad at me. I know y'all gonna, I just feel as though I really don't accept the Super Bowl in 2017. I feel as though that this team right now, what we got right now, is better than the 2017.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. But championship. Yeah, we was just one. Yeah, Gronkowski. If he'd have caught that, that's it. So.
There's certainly a good team here. I mean, you guys are thinking we're Super Bowl bound after 6-0 or what?
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm not there either because, it's a young team. Nick Sirianni is a young. He's got to keep this team disciplined. You just can't. You got to turn the radios off. You got to turn all the distractions off, and it's just about you. You guys in the locker room, you know what I mean? And I like what Jalen Hurts is doing as far as stepping up, being that leader. He's saying the right things and everything. And then plus you got a few veterans on there, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. They could keep that. They could definitely keep that intact. But yeah, what Dre was saying, 6-0, I'm not seeing it yet, because this thing can go way south real fast. And just by the part of it, injuries, because it could take 2 or 3 injuries and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Which especially with Jalen Hurts. You lose Jalen, that's it. Well, you gonna go with Gardner Minshew?
Right. Well, and that was one.
Sorry, Sal. Do you win?
Oh no, I was just gonna say. Go ahead, Tony.
Do you win the division? I mean, do you guys think that you could?
I feel. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel. I think we got the division. Giants are going to come back down to earth. I'm looking at this game. I said, what the hell is going on here? I mean, they don't got no receivers. They're riding on Saquon. Saquon is about 80% of that team's offense.
Yeah,
he goes down. That's it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm not really afraid of Dallas, but I do want to see them go up against, Cooper Rush. Come on, But when Dak is back. Let's see how this offense, with Dallas. Let's see how they go, and whatnot. But Dallas will probably give us a run, but I think we're gonna pull it out.
I think the Giants. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right now, the Giants are the Cincinnati Bengals. They're just running underneath the radar. Just like, all right, we're not caring about we'll beat the Giants. We'll beat the Giants, and the Giants is just stepping up to the plate. I do like Dable. The coach and whatnot, but yeah, I just see them coming down to earth, and it's going to come down real quick.
Yeah, the only concern I have, and it's a big concern, is how much they're running Jalen. I mean, I know I shared some of their stats with you guys, right? I mean, he's running more than the top 10 running backs in the league sometimes. I mean, it's crazy, and he's taking these big hits. Like, how many times on 4th and 1? I mean, when you were going into a pile like that, and a guy's pushing you from behind. Yeah. Like anything could happen with a knee, an ankle. Like you're really just taking a risk. You're really just taking a risk. Like I know Sirianni loves that play because it works, but man, you got a big guy in there that if you can't afford to lose when you do that. And
that's Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Still trying to put that foot on right.
They messed up.
Still sitting there trying to put it on.
they're in the surgery right now. They're like, "Oh, hold on, Mr. Lance, we gotta go back into surgery. We missed the bone.
That doesn't look right. Hold on.
Why is my foot?
And I will say this, Jermaine, that I just was reading today that they rank, and you were laughing at me, but Jordan Davis, okay, he's in the top 15. They're ranking in the top 15 linemen because they said he might not have the greatest stats, but the dude is drawing double teams and he's beating them a lot of times. The guy is a beast. He's a beast. He's young. He's a beast. You know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, we'll see. You put him next to Fletcher Cox. I mean, damn.
And that's why they signed Fletcher Cox. You know, you guys kept complaining, why did they sign Fletcher Cox? Well, Fletcher Cox is not the man that he used to be back in the day. You know, so now, like you said, Sal, you put Jordan Davis next to him, or you put Javon Hargrave next to him, and whatnot. Now you got something. Now you got the interior. You don't have to worry about the outside, like the Brandon Grahams and whatnot on the outside defensive ends trying to get a pass rush or even stopping the run. Now you got the interior line. Yeah, it's. I was telling my wife. I said, look. I said this is when we was watching Dallas. I said this is a dangerous team. If you look at it, it's a very dangerous team. I mean, and it's at the same time it's a complete team. So.
Their defense is good, Dallas. You got to give them that. They got a good defense.
I can't say anything because.
Well, Micah Parsons all over the field.
I can't say anything because they just think that I'm a fair weather fan. Yes.
The Eagles defense.
Go ahead.
No, I say the other thing about the Eagles defense, I still think they need is I think they still need an edge rusher. Mm-hmm. I still think watching that Dallas game. It should have been well out of hand. That game should have been just done, and Dallas was making a comeback, and I kept seeing them not getting them off the field. And I kind of kept saying like, man, they need a sack here, and the sack wouldn't turn up. I think that's the missing link right now. Is kind of like when the Rams went out and got Von Miller. I think if the Eagles just get a dominant pass rusher or semi-dominant guy, there's someone that can just make an impact. I think that's the missing link.
We'll get it in the draft this year if we got a high pick. You know what I mean? Who's one of the top linemen out there, guys?
What happened to
you might get it from Carolina. You might get it from Carolina, and that guy they got.
Okay.
Yeah. What, Brian Burns?
Yeah, that's what I keep seeing. Yeah, because
would he fit Gannon's offense though? Because he's an outside linebacker. A 3-4, right?
Oh, he's an outside linebacker,
isn't he? I thought maybe I'm wrong.
We don't. Yeah.
I thought he was an edge rusher. Oh, he might be able to convert, kind of go
maybe
both
he's
ways.
Like a 4-3, yeah.
Kind of like because Kerrigan, I guess, technically was a linebacker, right?
Yeah. So he'd be like a 4-3 defensive end. Yeah. You could use the pass rush, right? That's probably the one thing that I would say about Eagles. I mean, Howie. For some of his whiffs, right, wide receiver and pass rusher,
some,
right? But where he's whiffed, he's made up for it. The trade for AJ Brown, do you regret that now? I mean, that was a slam dunk.
Don't do this.
Real deal.
Here we go.
Real deal.
Slam dunk sounds like real deal.
Real deal. 100.
The guy gets 10 yards in the one half and he gets 250 in the next.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what is wrong with y'all. He's the guy. I don't understand why he was negative from the jump. Why?
He's a great compliment to the offense. That's for sure. That's all I'm going to say. He's a great compliment to the offense.
He was absent for a chunk of that Cowboys game. He was absent.
He got a touchdown, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? Right. So, I mean,
he's still a leading receiver, Sal.
Yeah, he's receiving yards. I think he's got like 500 yards receiving, but they're
all equal in touchdowns right now. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. They're talking about all three receivers. What's his name? AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and
Smith.
And Smith can all get 1,000 yards. I was like, wow. Yeah, because because Dallas Goedert and Smith are both at like 400. like
I think
475, 450 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
It's
And you throw Jalen Hurts in there, so it's a dangerous situation.
dangerous offense, but
Yeah.
I mean, again, like you said, it's going to come down to injuries, Jermaine. I think
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
And
You can't be running. I mean, Jalen Hurts is not Josh Allen. And he don't got the. I know he's squatting over 700 pounds or 600 pounds. Still, like you said, you get caught up in that pile and you're back, and everybody's just jumping on you, and your back just goes one way, and you trying to say stop, and they just keep right on going. It's a big problem.
It's rough. So
Yeah.
So let's kind of go. We got a couple more minutes on this topic, but yeah, let's talk about the 6-0 Eagles. So, is it something where they played lower competition? Have they proved themselves yet? Is it still to be determined? I mean, how you guys feeling? I'm feeling okay. Yeah, against Dallas, maybe they showed you something. Jacksonville, maybe but I don't know. You still got to go up against. I'd like to see him against the Buffaloes and maybe Kansas City.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to say like what Jermaine was saying, like in the beginning of the season, when we were looking at Detroit and how Detroit hasn't. We've seen that they were improving. So in Jermaine's mind, he's like, hey, Detroit's a good contender to beat Philadelphia for the opening drive. So, but Philadelphia beat them, and then it came to the other teams, and that's that old saying. It's not Eagles' fault that the schedule is vanilla, that the other teams stink, but you got to win those games that you're supposed to win, right?
Yep.
So, to answer your question, for me, I think they are where they are. I mean, the Dallas was a test, Jaguars was a test. We'll have to see, like you said, staying healthy. But as the schedule wise, it's just what they got.
Kenny Pickett's next.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
This is a soft schedule, guys.
It is.
That's what I'm saying, Tony. I mean, who's your next legitimate opponent that's going to give them a run? I mean,
Giants, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
By the time they run into the Giants, I mean, they're going to destroy.
I mean, if the Colts were on firing on all cylinders and healthy, that would be the only thing I see here. You got 2 Cowboys games. You've already had one. Maybe you're facing Dak on Christmas Eve, but I don't see it. I mean, I'm not worried about the Saints if I were you guys. The Packers are a shell of their former selves. The Titans are kind of quiet. I mean, they could be something by the first week of December, but this looks pretty soft, guys. Not gonna lie, and I'll say this nugget not to give away some of my fantasy secrets while Mike is here. But when I was prepping for fantasy, I looked at the softest opposing offenses for a defense, and the Eagles rank number 1. I mean, no brainer. I'm carrying Eagles D in 2 leagues, and that's worked out well for me so far.
Yeah. Well, it's the turnovers that they've gotten, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so true.
Now, if you would have told me that the Eagles would have been 6-0 and San Francisco would have been 3-3 at this point in the season, Mike, I would have been like, "You're going to be freaking kidding me!" Like I never would have thought that.
Yeah. I you guys talk about the schedule and everything, and I think San Fran would beat them, but that's my take.
Oh,
you know what? Okay.
Jimmy G beating the Eagles. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see. We'll see in the playoffs.
We'll see in the playoffs.
Yeah. In the playoffs. Oh my God.
Y'all know Dre raising his hand again.
There we go.
Yes, right. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's not raising his hand. He's raising something else. It's a finger.
Remember my preseason predictions? I said the Niners are going to the Super Bowl, so I got to stick with it. So I got to see that they're going to get in the playoffs and play the Eagles.
In Green Bay.
Now,
Green Bay running. I say you can't count Aaron Rodgers out, but you know what?
Count him out.
Another week or two, he's done.
Can we finally count the GOAT out at this point, guys?
Oh, Tom, I told you that's the thing, man. He's amazing. Remember that on the list, Mike. I said Tom Brady was a distraction. He's a distraction. He's a distraction to that team. He's got so much going on. It's just he's saying stupid stuff on the podcast. I mean, and then he's yelling at his linemen. I said it's getting out of control. And he talking about, the retirement is not in my future. I was like, okay.
Right. Yeah. The thing about yelling at the lineman was the whole deal that Friday he went to Bob wedding. And
right.
Leslie, he was drunk, so he was sluggish, come game time. And
goat's over.
Well, they got a lot of injuries. I know that, but they're 3-3, right? So I mean, they're not out of it, but they're definitely not the team they were. I don't think their defense is as good. Their offense, obviously, maybe
it's
if they
out
get
of
healthy.
sync. I mean, Sal. I mean, they're healthy. Godwin, Evans, and I forgot who the other person was. Russell Gage. Stuff. I mean, they're healthy. I mean, but I think that offensive line is not healthy.
Offensive line's not healthy. Julio's out this week. So
you win football games on the offensive and defensive line.
That's
right. And the defense for the Bucs looks old. They look gassed, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not the defense of 2 years ago. The same thing on the offensive line. You've had a lot of guys leave, even free agents retire, get banged up. I'll even say this, and this is my threat. This is my one stance for Carson Wentz as well. When you lose your center, that immediately affects the play of all of the other offensive players. Mm-hmm. The same thing happened with Wentz. The same thing happened with Brady. Mm-hmm. Whoever the backup center is, no matter how good that guy is, he's not in there taking every first-team rep. He's not making the call protections. He's not snapping the ball to the starting quarterback every day. Yeah, that's a huge, huge, huge loss.
Center's a major piece. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, think about the Eagles without Kelsey, right? I mean, there you go. So that's it. And they have the study that's coming up under him. He's really good. The young kid, he's watching him close.
Jurgensen?
Jurgensen. Yeah. I mean, they said he's like a clone of Kelsey, the way he's athletic. He can get out there. But you're right. I mean, until you start calling those plays, Tony, and you're in there and you're calling those signals and you have that experience, it's tough.
Yeah.
So, I
would say the thing about Tampa Bay is they kind of got a little bit what Tennessee has, and that they don't look all that great, but no one else in the division really looks all that great either. So
that's right.
Just by that,
NFC don't look all that great.
I mean, you look at Tampa. I mean, Tampa's got Carolina. Carolina's already basically, they're looking at next year. They're trying to just dismantle the team. Atlanta's scrappy and they're fighting, and then the Saints, I don't know what to make of them with the red rifle back there throwing pick sixes. I mean, Tampa Bay, even as bad as they look,
didn't he? He threw 6.
Yeah. Four for them, 2 for the other team. But
but Mike, you make a good point, right? I mean, if you look at a division, I mean, outside of the NFC East, the NFC South is probably one of the weakest divisions of the current states of those teams. I mean, I think the Buccaneers' schedule is pretty tough. You got games against the Rams and Ravens coming up.
Whoa, Tony. You said what? Who? The Rams?
Yeah. The Bucks.
the Bucks and the Rams? So you're what? So you saying Rams are tough?
Well, I'm saying it's a tougher game than if you're going to play the Commanders, isn't it?
Okay, well that could be. I mean, and let's not forget the AFC West has a couple 3-3 teams too in there that aren't. They're not exactly the strongest division right now, record-wise either. They might. They got tougher schedules. I agree with that, but 3-3, a lot of teams in the AFC West who we thought would be a lot better. Or NFC
Super Bowl
West,
is up for grabs. I just feel as though there's no dominant team. I mean, yes, Philly. Outside of Philly, I mean, who? I mean, Philly right now, I feel as though they can go toe to toe with Buffalo. I don't care about KC.
Ooh.
I don't care about KC. I don't. I feel as though they can go toe to toe with Buffalo. That's just my opinion.
Tony disagrees. I can see that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's. That's just my opinion.
Who's going to cover Stephon Diggs? Who's going to cover Stephon?
Yeah, well,
Slay?
you got those, Slay or Bradbury, and then you got those, you got those linebackers. I mean, are just as fast, if you're going to spy Josh Allen, and then also, if Jordan Davis does come to himself, as far as being that dominant player that he was in Georgia, and that defensive line and everything, shoot, yeah, I'll take my chances. That secondary, I'll take my chances. I mean, we seem like we got Chauncey Gardner, with those 2 interceptions, one with a broken or 3 interceptions. No, 2 interceptions, one with a broken hand or whatever. I mean, his hand was really jacked up, and he sealed the game with that 1 interception. Yeah, but yeah, I'll take my chances with Buffalo. I would.
He toughed it out.
Let him come to Philly. Don't go to Buffalo. Let him come to Philly.
Well, that one team, I think we talked about this, guys. Our prediction: Jets are 4-2, and the Jets. The Jets. I'm looking at their schedule. I was looking at this over here, man. The Jets got Bears. They got Vikings. They got Jaguars. I mean, they got Seahawks. They might be 11-6. I mean,
man. Hey.
I mean, we talked about
playing.
how
they're balling, man.
The draft was. They had a real good draft.
Yep. I mean, rookie Breece Hall's taking over. I mean, I'm not too keen on what Zach Wilson. I
understand. Yeah,
Sal's boy Joe Flacco back
up. But they're hanging right there with Buffalo. They are.
Yeah, true that.
But the Jets played how many teams from their division so far? They just played what? Miami.
They played Miami from their division.
Oh, they got Buffalo coming up.
Yes. They got.
That'll be.
Yeah.
When they play the Patriots, because the Patriots actually look a lot better than I think everyone expected. And, of course, Buffalo looks good. I mean, those are 2 teams I like to see the Jets really play and see what they got. That'll be the measurement.
Yeah, it's tough because they got Patriots on Sunday before Halloween, and they got the Bills the following week. So, yeah. And then they go right back to the Jets. I mean, back to the Patriots. So, yeah, you're right, man. That's the true test.
Yeah. We'll see how they do.
And they play the Dolphins without Tua, I think Tua's.
Yeah.
I think he is a difference maker for them, for the Dolphins, compared to Bridgewater and then the other guy that's behind Bridgewater. So,
I mean,
Miami will be back.
They got Broncos this Sunday, and Broncos stink. So,
no excuses. A win is a win, remember?
Yeah.
Win is a win.
Oh, man.
Rolling the Dubs.
All right, guys. So let's move on here. We'll wrap it up. It's time to get to the game. You guys all ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
No clue.
So the game this week is called What's the Deal? All right. So I'm going to give you a name. You have to tell me if this person is the real deal, a big deal, some deal, or no deal. All right. So real deal meaning, all right, yeah, this guy is no question. He's the man. Big deal, like, all right, he's a really good player. Yeah, he's some deal. He's okay, but he's not quite there yet. And no deal. All right, we're Carson Wentz category. So,
man, while he's down on IR, Sal. Let him breathe.
Clear. All right, so let's start it off. I'll start. There's 4 rounds, so I'll start off with Dre. Here we go, Dre. Jalen Hurts.
Starting off with me.
Because I like Dre. All right, Dre. Jalen Hurts. Real deal, big deal, some deal, or no deal?
Big deal.
Big deal. Okay.
Yeah, big deal.
All right, Tony. Brian Robertson Jr.
Some deal.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask you about that too, Tony, but I'll ask you off the air. Yeah,
that's all
I'll
good.
ask you about that.
I want to see more. I like the kid. I want to see more.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Jermaine, the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's a no deal.
A no deal?
I'm telling you, man, they're coming back down to earth. Trust me, they're coming back down to earth. All right, I can't be wrong the whole thing. Yeah, I was wrong on the Green Bay Packers, but no, I can't be wrong on this one. It's a no deal.
They bottled up Lamar Jackson in them, man. They stopped the run. That's what I'm worried about, really.
Dexter Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
That's more than one reason why we call this "What's the Deal?" Because all right, Mike, Christian McCaffrey.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Boy, can I put an asterisk? I want to say real deal, but I got to put an asterisk because it's the health
Ooh.
part.
The first real deal. That means 100%, Jermaine.
Real deal?
It's 100%,
Mike.
Jermaine.
Mike, come on, Mike.
Man,
How do you?
guy?
I want to hear why you say this is the real deal. Talk to me.
That man was 80-90% of a whole team's offense, and you're going to put him with San Francisco? I mean, yes, if he's healthy, he's going to light up.
No. You didn't say if he was healthy. You said he was a real deal. Don't put that.
I said asterisk.
Okay. All right, that was smart. Yeah,
Mike got to escape.
You got that one.
That goes from that's real deal or no deal. It's like
I got it.
He get hurt and it's over.
Now he's making his own deals. Come on now. All right, round 2. We're going to switch up a little bit. Quick basketball round. Joel Embiid.
Somewhat a deal.
All right, some deal. Okay.
Yeah, somewhat
All
a
right.
deal. His injury, and I mean, yeah.
He didn't do nothing. I saw you, Tony, shaking your head, man. He didn't do nothing in the second half. He didn't score a point. Look. I'm just gonna say this. I feel as though they need to go ahead, and I said this last year. They need to go ahead and trade Joel Embiid. Why? Yes, I'm serious. And get some young players, get some ballers out here, because Joel Embiid only shows up when he wants to. That's what he did in the playoffs, Tony. That's what he did in the playoffs last year. You know, it's just, I'm not saying the dominance, and he can be a dominant player, but that's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
What would you put him at, Tony? Not some deal? Would you put him at big deal?
I mean, it's a big deal for the Sixers fans' hopes, right? I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's your A player. That's your number one guy.
I think the hopes are done.
He's got to stay healthy. You got to get to the playoffs and have him in motion. Yeah, healthy.
Yeah, I
big
know.
guy like that.
You're right. But a big guy like that, you only got what? Say what? What do you got? About 2 more years? Tony, if that,
I mean, how long has he been in the league now?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Years. I mean, you let all this you let all this talent go and whatnot, and you still get bounced out the second round. Just cut your losses. Just let it go. That's all.
Jermaine, you trusted the process, though.
Joel Embiid has been in the league as long as Josh Allen, Jermaine.
Good one, Sal.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, Tony, we'll continue with the basketball here. Bradley Beal.
Oh, Bradley Beal's the real deal. Come on now.
Beal's the real deal. All right.
He is the real deal. The rest of the Wizards, not so fun.
All right, cool. I got a good one for Jermaine here. Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey, yeah. You know what? That's a big deal right there. That's a big deal. That's what you need to build the team around is Tyrese Maxey. Build the team around him. Yeah, big deal.
Mike, LeBron James now.
Somewhat deal. I'm not gonna say no deal because it's LeBron, but I think somewhat. I think it's definitely towards the back end of things, and the end is near.
That team is a total mess. Did you look at as far as their shooting and everything? They broke it down. It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh my god, as far as jump shots is concerned, but.
That was the best trade the Wizards ever made.
All right, round 3, back to football here. Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni.
Real deal, big
coach,
deal?
Dre.
Yeah.
Real deal, big deal, some deal, or no deal for Nick Sirianni?
I'm gonna say a big deal because I was gonna try to say we probably run out of time. I'm not liking these coaches doing these 4th and downs when they don't need to.
Okay.
He's doing it a lot. So it's somewhat a deal.
Okay.
Somewhat? Or
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Big deal.
Big deal. Okay. So Sirianni's a big deal. All right. Jermaine. Howie Roseman. Real deal?
So what are you saying? This for this year?
Yeah, let's go this year.
Yeah, big deal.
Okay.
Big deal. Yeah,
All right. He's
big
not
deal.
saying the real deal.
Yeah,
All right.
big deal.
Mike, Kyle Shanahan.
Ooh.
I knew you was gonna ask me that too. I'll still say big deal. I
Okay.
think the time is coming near, for him too, because he's been there for quite a number of years. But I'll say big deal.
So you saying he's on the hot seat?
I,
So if
I
this
think people are getting
CMC blows
impatient,
up in
yeah.
his face, yeah, if this
I think
CMC
people
blows
are
up in
getting
his face,
impatient.
yeah, he's gonna
It's like Brian Billick, when he went to the Ravens, and it's like, yeah, he's an offensive genius, and then their offense couldn't put up more than like 6 or 7 points a game, but their defense, and Kyle's kind of the same way. It's like he's an offensive genius. Everyone keeps talking about, yet this offense never seems to explode for a bunch of points. It's always off of turnovers and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's never just they go light it up. So I think people were getting a little impatient with that, but I still say Kyle's a big deal just because of everything else. Just seeing the coaching tree of all these other coaches that have had success, and they kind of all come from Kyle. So there's something there. I mean that's why I still say big deal.
Okay.
Am I the only one on here that I just found out, which blew my mind, is that CMC is Ed McCaffrey's their father? I never knew that.
What?
Who?
I never knew that.
Jermaine?
I couldn't believe it. I said, "What?" Yeah, that's what I said. I was just like, I didn't know that was his son. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but geez, I was like, okay,
It's a common name.
yeah, I know. I was like, oh,
Man.
and they was hugging each other on camera. I said, oh, that's Ed McCaffrey. Easy Ed.
All right. End of round 3 here. Last one for Tony in round 3. Dan Snyder.
No deal.
No deal.
No deal.
No deal for a new stadium, Sal.
Oh, no deal. Okay. All right. We got the last round here. Let's check this out. Round 4. Dre, back to you. Kirk Cousins.
Well, in the regular season or the playoffs?
Another asterisk.
Another asterisk.
That's right.
As a whole, right, Sal?
As a whole. Mm-hmm.
Big
What do you
deal.
think, Dre? Big deal? Okay.
Ooh.
I'll give that. All right.
Ooh.
I'll agree with that.
Vikings 5-1.
Oh, really? Big deal? As a whole?
As a whole.
Big deal. All right, Jermaine, coming to you. I love this one. Ron Dane. Jermaine's like, real deal. Trust me.
That's a real deal right there, baby. I think I still got a mark on my chest.
Is that 100%, Jermaine?
That's what. Hey, yeah. You know what? That's 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I still can't breathe right. You know what I mean? From that back in high school.
People probably say you got COPD. No, I got Ron Dane. I got Ron Dane. I don't smoke.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, Mike's gonna punch me for this one. Jimmy G.
Oh wow,
He's the real deal.
That's the
Oh,
real deal
100%.
now.
100%. Tony says.
I can't say real deal yet, but
Woo.
He was
I'll
mad
say
last
somewhat
week.
deal.
You was
Yeah,
mad last week, Mike.
I'll still say somewhat deal. He's got to
Somewhat
get
deal.
more consistent. I'll still say
deal.
somewhat, but he could move up to big deal. If it's best chance to do it, especially with CMC now. I mean, this is what else can you do? I mean, you're giving the guy all the weapons you can possibly think of to shine. So,
Yeah, but regardless, you think he's coming back? All right, just say if they go real deep in the playoffs, Mike, you think Jimmy G's coming back, even with CMC?
No. This is Jimmy G's chance to prove everybody that didn't want to bring him over to their team that he can still play.
Yeah.
If they win a Super Bowl with him, I don't know. That's gonna be a mess. Just because there's a lot of people on the team that respect him. Like you said, Dre, I think you said it, or Jermaine, you said it in a previous podcast about Trey Lance didn't have a captaincy on his chest, and Jimmy G did. and that's all selected by the players. They didn't select Trey to be a captain, but Jimmy had no problem getting that. So that is going to be a concern if they go deep with him, and he's still trying to leave.
All right, cool. We'll wrap it up with Tony here, our guest. Last one. Tony, Carson Wentz.
My boy Wentz. There's some deal there. I don't think Wentz got. Okay. I don't think Wentz got a fair strike here. Maybe towards the end of the year comes back with a hand, but I'm not picking up that player option. I'll tell you that.
I think he's done. I think that's Heineke's team, and then if you really get out of the race, it's going to be the rookies. It's going to be the rookie.
I'd love to see Sam Howell. And to be honest, I was thinking about it. I was talking to Mike for Wentz. What would be a better landing spot next year? The backup as in Jacksonville, right? His old coach.
Oh man.
What in Jacksonville? You said? Oh,
yeah,
next to
Doug Peterson.
What, as an assistant?
If you're not going to start, where else would you rather be?
Oh, so he'll be an assistant coach, quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, he'll just
Oh my God. Well, it didn't work with Frank Reich again.
I was about to say Frank Reich was supposed to be his dad.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, you're talking about him going back to Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson threw him under the bus when he drafted Jalen Hurts. So yeah, he don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't know where Wentz fits in next year. I don't know that any team.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
he's out. He's out like the Tim Tebows and all them. So.
I think there's always a team willing to give a guy a chance.
But
even as a backup
Washington
or as a
did.
The Bears?
Yeah,
Bears?
Yeah, I said the Bears, Houston.
The Bears don't. Justin Fields is not the guy.
New England.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He could be a backup.
Yeah, that's all he's going to be. Yeah, he's going to be a backup. Yeah.
And, it might be one of those deals that when if he comes off the bench, he might play better. Just not making him a starter, but just the guy that comes in kind of like Cooper Rush, or just kind of comes in and no one's expecting anything, and then he start lighting it up. Maybe that's where Wentz fits in. Just being the starting quarterback, maybe he just can't measure up on that level. But coming as a backup might just be perfect for him.
The model that I see him following is like Fitzpatrick.
Journeyman.
Yeah, because that was kind of like his situation. He was a starter, but he just wasn't good enough, But then as a backup, he was pulling it through. Then he became a starter again, I mean, he's a commentator now, but I'm just saying when he was.
Well, yeah, he was kind of like that journeyman guy that, kind of got a big contract because he would light it up as a backup and he had all his potential. But then as a starting quarterback,
he just stunk.
It was okay, but it wasn't worth the money that he was getting. Then he go back to be a backup,
right?
Come in, get everybody inspired and everything like that because he played loose.
Yeah,
and then I can see that.
He could go to Cleveland.
Ooh.
Cleveland,
God,
they can't pay any more money to quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Sean Watson.
I mean, there is some sick, twisted future, right, where Dan Snyder, Ron Rivera, and Carson Wentz are all still here next year at the start of the season. Right?
Wow.
I mean, realistically.
Yeah. How about I know.
So Mike, whose towel would be bigger, Deshaun Watson's or Carson Wentz's?
I can't answer that.
You got an asterisk by that one.
That's the real deal there, right?
I guess Carson Wentz. I guess he's more of a
no, but you got to throw Dre. You got to throw Dre in there too. Remember he turned the camera off, so we didn't know what was going on.
Tony's hiding his face. Tony's like, "Oh God, no."
Oh, whatever.
We had a big discussion about the towel, Tony. I don't know if you heard that, but it was
I'm picking up on it.
We'll just leave it at that.
Just leave it. Yeah. The towel.
All right, we have just enough time to go quick round. Final thoughts, Tony. As always, man, it's an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you again. Final thoughts, man. What do we got? It could be a pot shot, somebody. It could be one of us, players. Good things to say. What do you got going on? What's on your mind?
Well, actually, Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
I was
Go,
going to
Tony.
say, keep your fingers crossed, hopes and prayers. Somehow, some way, they get rid of Dan Snyder.
No deal.
No deal. Goodbye, Dan.
Goodbye, Dan.
All right, Mike, what do you got? McCaffrey, you're all good now?
Yeah.
Let's give up
I
a
guess my
second,
final-
third, fourth, fifth, and sixth round pick. We're good.
Yeah.
For the next 8
Do like-
years.
Do like the Rams do. Do like the Rams.
Yeah,
It worked for them last year. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I hate to bring back an old commander or Redskin, but if RG3 used to say, I'm all in, right?
Man.
So I guess Niners are all in. I'm excited for it. I just have to see it this weekend or next week. Kind of like he's going to play this weekend, but I'm ready to see what they can come up with.
Ooh. All right. Dre, what do you got?
No, it's actually a footnote on what we were talking about earlier with the Washington and San Fran when they were talking about like in the 80s where, the winning team, Super Bowl caliber. And what I was thinking about was free agency started kicking in like in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like San Fran, for example, once the running back left to go to Kansas City, what's his name? Even the quarterback too. He left.
Yeah.
Joe Montana. But the running back y'all had, I can't think of his name, man.
Roger Craig?
No. You know what?
Kansas City.
No, that was Kansas City. I got it mixed up. But anyway, back to what I was saying. And then with Washington, how without free agency, they kept they had all the great players there and stuff. So I was wondering like those franchises got hurt with maybe with free agency. I don't know, kind of coming out of the old school.
What you
kind
saying
of
we
way.
bought our championships?
Maybe. But
the Cowboys are in there
We're still
too.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys in there too.
Yeah.
But
Cowboys just pay a lot of money for that defense and offense.
yeah, that's true.
Well,
true,
Herschel
too.
Walker gave him that whole team when that trade happened.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, what y'all was saying earlier. That's all I have to say. Any shout outs? Nope.
All right. Not even a shout out to Jermaine, who's sleeping down there. He's looking at his phone. I don't know what the hell he's doing. What are you doing down there, dude? Come on now. We're in the middle of a show here, man. Jermaine, what do you got, bud? We're muted.
Yeah.
There you go. We can't hear him.
Jesus
He's
Christ.
on the phone. Is he on the phone, man? What kind of professional is this? We're in the middle of a freaking broadcast. The dude's on the phone. Oh, that's what he's doing. I'm like,
Easy as Sunday morning.
I was like, what is going on?
Another Lionel
Yeah,
Richie,
like,
Commodores.
I was
Whoa.
all confused. Like he was trying to play
Yeah,
it, I
me
guess.
too.
Oh man.
Yeah. Nah, but it's all good. I'm looking for the second half of the season for Philly. You know what I mean? Keep moving it on. Keep it. So let's do it. And I'm hoping that we meet those 49ers on in the playoffs somewhere. You know what I mean? That'd be great. Especially it'd be great for the podcast and whatnot.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? CMC, he'll have his leg jacked up behind his helmet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You hear Mike going off and talking about, I turned the game off. I went somewhere. But
Yeah,
nah, it's good,
real
man.
defense.
Looking for that second half of the season, man.
Yeah, I'm looking for that playoff matchup when the Eagles play Kirk Cousins. I think that'll
Kirk
be
Cousins.
And who knows, Dre? If Kirk pulls it out, maybe he becomes the big deal or the real deal. You don't know. So
He puts up 45 to 4,700 yards a year. I don't know what your problem is.
my problem is what Tony said, man. When push comes to shove in the big games, where's he at? So that's it.
Where was Brett Favre?
I agree. Brett Favre too, but he
in the
got
Hall of
one
Fame.
Super Bowl, right? He got one Super Bowl, didn't he?
And
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Jesus,
Kirk Cousins
please.
going to the Hall of Fame.
Jesus, please.
Kirk Cousins is going to the Hall of Fame.
Because you know what?
Everybody's like, whoa.
No, hold on, man.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins Hall of Fame.
Those are the
He's
Hall of
going
Fame.
to the Hall of Fame. He's not getting in the Hall of Fame.
He's sitting in the crowd. That's what he's doing, clapping for Justin Jefferson.
I'm just trying to say, man,
Yeah.
Brett Favre should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Don't tell Ron that. He'll make me call.
That's all right. We'll get that
Ron's gonna
knucklehead.
call it.
Yeah, we're gonna get him. We'll get that knucklehead on because he's boasting about his fantasy team again. And whatnot, you know what I mean? So
okay.
he's back in
talking
first place.
Mhm.
So
All
the
right.
champ here is struggling. So I got to get back. Mike's doing good, Tony. He's
course he
he
is.
got back. He was 1-3. He won 2 in a row now. So he's
Coming back from the grave there.
Yeah, he's back on there. Yeah, he's back up there. So
Maybe he
we'll
picked up
see.
the Eagles defense. That's probably
Yeah.
the smart thing to do.
And Mike
Yeah, sure he is. Let me go look. Yeah, that Saints defense sure didn't help me none. That's the league I got with Tony. I think I actually played Tony this week
Yeah,
on top of that.
I was just
Yeah,
checking.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
checking our
Big old
matchup
negative
right now.
one.
Yeah.
You had negative.
This is a good
Jeez.
start. This is a good start. for you,
That's a
Mike.
great start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the Red Rifle throwing them pick sixes, man. I was like, come on. You just...
Yeah, because I was looking at the game and I turned in. Well, I was actually on my phone and I'm looking. And I was like, hold on, man. Arizona's back in the red zone. And then when I turned it on, they was like, yeah, Andy Dalton's do another pick six. Like, really?
Yeah, that score jumped up real quick.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it did.
It was. I was like, what? 28? Where'd that come from? 28 points. I'm like, dang, Arizona.
Yeah.
I thought it was all DeAndre
Yeah,
Hopkins.
me too. That's what I thought too. I said, oh, this man's going off.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Saints defense actually, I felt, didn't play that poorly, right? They had them in that game.
Yeah,
You know, the
Right.
turnovers really cost them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Cost me fantasy
Well,
points.
you're gonna bring back Jameis Winston now, so yeah. So the Saints,
Well-
yeah, we'll be at the number 1 pick, Sal.
There you go, Sal. Jermaine Winston. Remember how he was talking about? There's his real deal, 100% quarterback.
Oh, Winston. Okay.
Jameson Winston. He's talking about how this guy puts up numbers. He said last year's podcast.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because I was trying to compare him to Brett Favre.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the
No.
stats. I said the stats with Brett Favre. Yeah, I was studying the stats with Brett Favre. The same year as Brett Favre was in the league compared to Jameis Winston, they got the same stats right now. And then I'm saying Brett Favre is in the Hall of Fame. So you got to
Right.
put Jameis Winston in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Maybe Deion Sanders was right.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. And I'll say this, Mike, maybe, I don't know, maybe you were right. Like I thought Pickett was going to get the most interceptions for a quarterback for a year, but it may be your Red Rifle. I think he may get the award there for the most interceptions.
No,
Stafford.
Stafford, man, yeah, Stafford's
Stafford's going to get
he's
it.
on
All
pace
right.
for what, 25 interceptions?
He is. I think he's on the pace to get Brett Favre's 300, 500, whatever it was, interceptions that he has.
Even Pickett throws like 25 a week.
Yeah, that's
but
right. Yeah, I don't
Matthew
think
Stafford-
Pickett has he doesn't have an incompletion yet. Because if it's not a touchdown, it's a pick.
Matthew Stafford averages 3.5 interceptions a game. So
Man.
It's amazing what an offensive line, what a difference.
Yeah,
that makes,
just like
right?
that. How about
Just
that?
like that.
Mhm.
I mean, they lost their tackle. What was that old man's name? Whitworth, or
Whitworth,
something?
right?
yeah, Whitworth. Yeah, he
Yeah,
How much
retired.
money?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
How much
retired.
money to come back, buddy? You're still in shape. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Big
God.
genius. Yeah, big genius.
Genius.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you hanging in with us. Again, we are enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. Drop us a line, even if you think Kirk Cousins or any other quarterback should be in the Hall of Fame. Let us know about it.
I
And
wasn't thinking that.
more than happy to get back
Carson
to you.
Wentz.
Yeah.
Carson
And
Wentz.
I'll give my weekly shout out. If you ever want a job, Kay Adams, you got one here. All you have to do is call and listen. So, look at Mike.
Is that the
Mike's
real
time
deal?
back there.
Real
Oh,
deal?
that's
Some real deal?
100%.
That's a
That's
big
the real
deal.
deal.
That's a big deal.
The big real deal.
That's it,
know,
right?
Kay, don't go to Amazon. Bezos has nothing on us. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right. So we're Amazon Prime right here, baby. So just come on.
Oh, my
Clear. Clear.
All right. Now I know we're getting emails for that one. Yeah, you can't say that. All right, guys. As always, it's been a pleasure. And again, Tony, thanks again for coming.
Yes,
on.
Tony. Always,
Thanks,
man.
Tony.
Thanks for having me.
Come on again,
Yeah.
buddy. Come
Anytime
on.
you want.
Anytime you guys want to have me, happy
Yeah,
to.
Absolutely.
We gotta have a reunion with all our guests, man. Since we can have everybody on and put everybody on at the same time. How about that?
All
Ooh, I
over
like
that.
that. That could be like our
Ross,
anniversary.
Tony,
Yeah.
Greg, Kiana,
Wow.
Ron. Oh my God.
That would be insane. I love it. And that'd be
Yeah.
really cool.
I've
Well,
said
we'll
it
get
on this show.
We'll get Joel Embiid a couple more games before we go that route. And
That's hilarious.
all right, guys. Let's talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. All right.